Hey guys, it is me, Real American Politics, and we're gonna have a serious video today. No intro, no fun stuff today. We gotta get into this because this is a serious thing that happened, a week ago. I think it's been a week already. And I've been waiting on making this video because I wanted all the details to come out, and you know what? I'm gonna get rid of that. There we go. So I just removed the promotion thing. But point is, it's been about 5 days now since the tragedy happened in Uvalde, Texas. And I just been waiting for the full timeline to be released so we can discuss what actually happened and, ask some questions because there's something missing here. And again, before I get into it, I'm not alleging any of this was staged or anything like that. People that say that are nuts. What I am saying, however, is the timeline of events shows there is pure incompetency of what happened in this school. So much so that they're purposely leaving out a detail or so. Again, kids died. Teachers died. Many people died. I think it's up to 21 people died. Again, this is a serious video. And we're going to be going over the timeline of what happened and discussing what should have happened. Like what, why it happened this way. So this is an article from New York Times called 78 Long Minutes. And this is a great article, in my opinion. If you want to read what happened, it's a good timeline. There's no bias towards it. We're going to get into it. So, 11:33 a.m., this is where it happens. The gunman enters the school. And this is where I have problems with the school security. And they have a nice picture here of where the door is. And you notice the door's right there. And essentially a teacher left the door wide open. Unattended, nobody there. She walked out, or I don't know who it was. He or she walked into the parking lot to get her phone. Now, my question is this. Why did it take you 6 minutes or longer to get your phone? It said from earlier reports it only took her 1 minute to get to her car. So it theoretically should have took her 1 minute to come back. In that situation, the door should have been closed 4 minutes before it happened. What was the teacher doing? Why were you just sitting there? All right, this is pure incompetence of what the teacher did. Oh yeah, I'm just going to leave the door wide open. Again, this is a serious security concern. And I think people are realizing, yeah, there's a big security concern with leaving the door wide open for 6 minutes. If the teacher didn't do his thing, got her his phone and come back, or let alone just keep the door closed. I'm pretty sure old teachers have an ID card. All right, so this entire situation started because the teachers, one of the teachers was essentially broke a rule, and that's what happened. But that's not the worst thing that happened because kids died. I don't directly blame him for it, though. Yes, there was a problem with it, but my question is this. What was the police department doing? We'll get to that in a minute. So, this was when, 2 minutes later, after the gunman entered the school, 3 police department officers enter the school through the same door. 2 are grazed by shots fired by the gunman. 4 more officers soon enter the building. Okay, we're finally starting to get officers. But you're going to notice the timeline. You're going to start seeing the time get longer and longer and longer. Nothing happens. Here, more gunshots. Officers continue to arrive to the scene. What were the officers doing? Alright, why was the person in command just standing there? You mean you keep going, and you just keep reading, and it keeps going and going. The school announces they're on lockdown. You just keep on going. You notice nothing. 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 And 11:54 a.m., almost 21 minutes after the gunman entered the school, people are gathering outside. And there is tension between the parents and police, because the parents are wondering, why aren't the police doing anything? And again, I'm not alleging some crazy conspiracy. This is a serious question. What the hell were the police doing? Can anybody answer that? Look, it doesn't matter about the gun control or whatever, anything like that. The serious question I have is, what were the police doing? Just sitting there. I mean, they had 3 officers enter the school almost 18 minutes prior. and they did nothing? It's just like, what? Where was the communication? And you keep going, and this is where it gets really sad. One of the mothers, just yelling that, hey, our kids are in there. Somebody needs to go save them. And the officer just ignored them. And you start seeing some ugly stuff with a police officer, pushing a man who's making a phone outside. And people are just, tensions were brewing. You just keep going. It's like, what are the officers doing? Alright, so we are 30 minutes after the gunmen enter the school. There's 19 officers in the school hallway. What were they doing? Just standing there? A student calls 911 and whispers she is in room 112. The phone call lasts 1 minute and 23 seconds. Who was leading this? Who was in charge of this? Because the officers were doing nothing. And again, this is not some conspiracy. This is a serious question. What were these officers doing? I know some may freeze up, but 20 or 19 of them are ordered to basically do nothing. You just keep reading this. Some students and staff members who have been locked down in the cafeteria on the other side of the school are able to flee. So that's the only good thing that happened during this time. A bunch of students and teachers were able to escape. If they wouldn't, it probably would have been end a lot worse. Some students in another classroom escape. You just keep reading, it just gets sadder and sadder. A helicopter flying above the school. Another student, the same student actually, from earlier, calls 911 again and says multiple people are dead. What are the officers doing? A student has said multiple people are dead, but in his room, he's still alive and a few other students. Why weren't the officers just breaking down the door immediately? It just keeps on going. And the officers, with a megaphone, when the kids get moved, we're going to move them to the back of the funeral home. Really? Really? This is the only, response the police have given so far. Now you're seeing why I have major problems with what happened. The same student calls not... The same student for the third time. They did nothing. And here's when finally something happens. We are 42 minutes. Members of Border Patrol had to get up here as quickly as possible. And they're going to be the only ones to do anything in this situation. And the same student calls 911 again. I don't know what to say. The same student said there's 8 to 9 students still alive in that room. And you could probably guess what happened. It is sickening. And I don't care what the school says, they're doing absolutely nothing. And a different girl in a different room calls 911 again. Police hear the gunman fire again. They move down the hallway. What were they doing? I have never heard of these procedures before. They just stand there? And again, it just keeps going. Many students are walking out of the school. School district is just doing nothing. And look at this. Nothing again. 1 hour since the police entered the building, the gunman's still alive. There's not a hostage situation. There never was. The same student. The student tells 911 that the gunman shot the... I just can't keep reading this. It keeps getting worse and worse. The student on the line asked 911 to please send the police now. No response. And look at this. Nothing. And another student on 911 says she can hear the police next door. Send the police. Specially trained Border Patrol officers unlock and open the classroom door using master key. Why did they do that before? Let's see here. They enter the classroom and shot him 27 times, killing the gunman. Shots are heard over the 911 call. That's essentially what happened. Look, we're going to discuss some things. What the fuck were the police doing? Again, I'm not alleging any conspiracy or anything like that. I want serious questions answered. Why were these police officers just standing there? Just like, oh, we're in front of the door, right? There's 6 of us, and we have the master key, but we can't enter the room? Look, I don't understand I don't know exactly the details of procedure, but from what my knowledge is, essentially, police officers, they run in to kill the guy ASAP, not just stand there. And this entire situation shows what's really wrong with what's happening in schools now. It's not the gun. I'm sick and tired of these people saying that's the gun. Again, this is basic logic. If you want to get a gun, you can live in New York, all right? If you want a gun, you can find a gun. It's nonsense that we need, heavy restrictions on guns. It doesn't work. We have a mental illness crisis in this country, and this student had a lot of mental issues. So just look at the Instagram feed. It's not pretty. He had serious problems. The police department did nothing. The school, which by the way was part of a special program dedicated to help children that are showing clear signs of mental illness, right, that could potentially be a threat, knew about this for months and did nothing. This is what's wrong. Incompetence, laziness, and all the above. Think about this. Alright, yes, the teacher left the door open like a dumbass. But if the school actually acted upon it, like, mysterious Facebook posts, in 10 days, fun will happen, or something like that, like he said. That's what the student said. If they would have acted upon it earlier, none of these kids would have died. That's just my thing. But also, this does show you massive security concerns. Where was the officer in the school? Where? If there was an officer on site, which I believe there was a couple, where were they? If they were doing their jobs, the shooter would have got killed immediately. But no, I don't know where they went. And we lost, I think it's 21 kids and teachers because of incompetence. Pure incompetence. And by the way, this could have ended a lot worse. Remember the Border Patrol right here? They ignored what I think it was the resource officer or whatever who was in charge, who was in command of the I don't know what you would call this situation. He was telling them to stand down. Or something very similar, like he was saying, don't engage yet. They ignored him, busted down the door, and killed the son of a bitch. What do you say? 21 kids are dead because of incompetence and laziness. And again, this is not a gun issue, all right? It was never a gun issue. It's a mental illness issue and incompetence. We need to seriously fix security issues at schools. Get metal detectors. Actually deal with mental illness. Not like, oh, that's actually just a normal thing. It's perfectly fine to think the things you're thinking. No, it isn't. We need to actually act upon these now because this is getting ridiculous. These kids had entire lives ahead of them. They never had a chance now. All murdered because of laziness, incompetence, mental illness, and just everything above. I'm sorry guys, this is a video I had to make. I waited for the details to come out fully. This is a very serious video. And I hope people do I don't know what to say. Alright, again, my solutions are very vague, but if you have other solutions, post them in the comments down below. I'm guaranteeing you this video will be demonetized. I guarantee. I don't even think I could do it, but if YouTube does put ads on it, whatever, it's YouTube. But again, this is a video I had to make. Again, not alleging any theories. Kids die. And I hope everybody prays for the families that have lost a loved one in Uvalde, Texas. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I needed to make this video because I kept thinking about it and I just needed to talk about it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully tomorrow regular content begins again. I'm sorry guys. I'm sorry. See you guys next time.